Well, hello, welcome to another episode of the Cobra Daytona build. On this episode, we are actually going to assemble our spindles. I've got them loosely, the arms up here. So this is the driver's side. So on the coupe and the truck, the 35 truck, the spindles on the truck go backward. On the coupe, and I think the Roadster also, they go forward. So as you can see, and then they get bolted up here to 60 feet-pounds at each one of these. So I'm going to torque these down. We're then going to scuff this whole assembly. I'm going to tape off the holes, and then we're going to paint these. So that way they're nice and white. I'll tape off the whole bearing mounting surface too, so that doesn't get anything on. Actually, tape that off beforehand before we scuff it so we don't scratch it. So follow along, we'll torque these, and then we'll scuff it, get them ready for paint, do both of them. Should be good. So I'm going to tape up the bearing surface here just so we don't ding it. Don't want to ding that surface. And we'll leave this piece here on too, just for a little added security also. Okay, and then we'll torque these things down. Okay, so one is done. So my driver's side's done. We'll pull the passenger off here. Now what I am doing too, just so you know, these things have, they're lock nuts with the rubber liner. I'm also throwing just a little bit of blue. Just added security. If you lose one of these arms, you're in deep trouble. Would not be pretty, so a little extra is not going to hurt. A little extra grip, they say. So now we will torque this down. There we go. There we go. Okay. Always back your torque wrench off. Don't want to leave it tightened down. Scuff this whole thing up. So we'll just keep scuffing these up. I won't show you much more than that, and then we'll get these into... We're going to continue on with the spindle assembly, and I'm actually going to show you how to put them on the car since I've already got the lower control arms. You can see they're back right there. I got them hanging in here. Here's the rear, so we won't get to those, but we'll get the front. So they're hanging there. We'll get these down and show you how to put them on the car. We showed you how to get them all prepped and ready to paint. That'll be in a different video when we paint all this stuff. So I'll probably have two separate videos, one showing all this paint, and then one just going to mount those spindles. So we'll get those things going now and show you how it's done. All right, so this is the passenger side spindle. It's going to go on the driver's side on the coupe. I think on the Roadster also. I think on the truck, then it goes on the other side because it's rear steer. This thing is front steer, so this has got to go up into here. Too extravagant. As I said, I showed you what I've done here is because basically what caster is, it's the difference between, let me go to the other side and show you. So if I drop this down, caster is the difference between here and here in angle. That's what caster is. So when this thing gets angled back more, that's more caster, and that's what you want to keep the car going straight. But it also makes it harder to steer because as you steer, you got to kind of pick the chassis up or pick the tire up. It's hard to explain. So by having the car like this, I can measure the caster and get it pretty close. Factory 5 is also in their book show you how to set this up with this length and this length to get you, I think, 8 degrees, which is about where you want to be with power steering. This one is not, the other one actually set up pretty close. I think I was about 8 degrees when I checked earlier. But that's kind of the way it works. I'm going to get this one since I've got this down here. hopefully my shocks come in one of these days, but as I said, I got a funny feeling a lot of companies are hurting right now trying to get parts out. So we'll get the other one torqued. That's gonna look nice. And I actually could probably even get the hub on. So there's lots of stuff we can do. I also want to show you this. So on the bottom, where the spindle goes on, there's this spacer. The spacer goes, basically what it does is, for some reason these things are too thin, or I'm not really sure why, but if you put the nut on without this spacer, the cotter key will not, you won't get into the, I'll actually show you here. So by the time I crush this down, it's not going to line up with that. You're not going to be able to really use that nut, a castellated nut, the way it's supposed to be. So that's why they give you this, which goes underneath. So then when you torque it down, it will line up the way it's supposed to. So we'll just torque this down by hand as far as we can. Oh, this is going to be tight. May not even be able to get a... Nope. Okay, so let's see if we take this one here off. Okay. So the bottom is 85, the top is 75. And I got a funny feeling, top, I'm probably just going to have to use a wrench and figure it out. And kind of guesstimate. Well, I might not even be able to torque this. I don't think I'm able to hold this thing. I think I'm going to have to wait to get the tie rods on. Yeah, see, so here's the major problem. So we just have to use box end wrenches, and I can pretty much tell you, 80 feet-pounds. It's going to be pretty much with this wrench. It's going to be pretty much all I can give it, which I'm not going to be able to give it without this spindle wanting to spin around on me. So as you can see, there's really no way to get a torque wrench in here. So what I'm going to do is use box end wrenches like this, and 80 feet-pounds. I mean, these things are not critical. I'm just going to torque the crap out of it, and I think I remember this with a Cobra too. It just is not the ideal setup, but it's what you got to deal with. The kingpin, or the two ball joints, how they're separated. So that kind of gives you an idea of what you're dealing with. As I said, I'm not going to be able to torque these things down until I get this thing attached. It just wants to turn on me, and it's just not going to happen. But now you get an idea of what we're doing here. Okay. So there we go. So now you've got your hub. Hopefully I had that on video. And the hub is now on. Spindle's on. I need to torque these. Once I get the steering rack, get these tightened up, then I have something I can actually drive it against. Setting up caster. It's not perfect, but as you can see, I've got probably pretty close to ride height here. So I get down a little lower. Probably pretty close to ride height. So if I take the center of this one to the center of that one, I'm at 83.5. So 6.5 degrees. So if we take this one and drive this out a little bit, and as I said, this is just a rough ballpark. Now I'm at 80.4, 81.2. So it's going to be somewhere in that area. As I said, Factory 5 has got the recommend, if I go to their books, they'll show the length of each one of these arms to get where you need to be. But this is going to be pretty close, because we can actually probably get the brakes mounted up, but I don't know if I want to do that right now. Okay, so the spacer, hopefully you can see all that. Spacer, nut. I'm just going to leave that thing loose. nut on top. And then once we get steering in, then we'll torque this down. But at least then I got these parts, they're kind of out of the way. There we go. So there you go. You got a general idea. Front end's coming along. I just need the damn shocks and springs, and you know, the rack. So so there's definitely parts I need. Then we start getting the brakes together and have this front end done, mocked up. So, well, hope you enjoyed the video. Now you can see we got the spindles attached. The hubs are on. Got to find the hub bolts. They're in one of the boxes. So we'll go search for those. But the front end's coming together, as you can see. We'll continue on. I think my next video, I'm going to probably carpet the inside of our box here, which is now painted flat black. Yeah, we'll go into that in the next video. I'll detail why I'm gonna carpet it first, because I realized if I don't, I'm gonna have some problems. But thanks again for watching. Hope you got something out of it, and we'll see you on the next episode. Please hit subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks.